You can pick the hard thing right now. Before the day picks one for you, before the inbox and the meetings and the small emergencies start choosing on your behalf, you get one clean shot at choosing first. A cold shower instead of a warm one, the dreaded task instead of the easy email, 30 minutes of real effort while it is still dark outside on purpose when nothing is forcing you. This is about the bet you place before sunrise. Doing one hard thing by choice early does not just check a box. It tunes the chemistry of your body and the temper of your will at the same time, and it sets a tone the rest of the day quietly inherits. The first thing you make yourself do becomes the standard everything after it is measured against. Start with what is actually happening inside you in these first minutes. The moment your eyes open, your body releases a wave of cortisol, and it keeps climbing for roughly the next 30 to 45 minutes. Researchers call it the cortisol awakening response, and the easy mistake is to hear the word cortisol and think stress. It is not stress. It is a programmed activation, a built-in surge your body schedules to lift you into the day. For that short window, you're chemically primed to act. The only question is whether you ride that peak or pour it into a phone screen and let it drain away on other people's noise. The Stanford neuroscientist Andrew Huberman has built an entire morning protocol around protecting and using that window, and the striking thing is how physical it is. Get sunlight into your eyes within the first hour, he argues, because that light is the strongest signal your internal clock receives, and it sets the timing of your alertness and your sleep that same night. Delay your coffee by 90 minutes or so, he suggests, so the caffeine does not paper over a tiredness that has not actually cleared yet. And put something demanding on the body early, before the day softens you. The pattern under all of it is the same. The morning is not a thing to survive until you feel human. It is a lever, and the way you load it decides the rest. This is where the cold comes in, and where a Dutch man who calls himself the Iceman has something useful to say to people who will never sit in an ice bath. Wim Hof teaches deliberate cold exposure paired with breathing, and what he is really teaching is voluntary hardship. You choose the discomfort, you meet it on purpose while it is still optional, and you learn to stay calm inside it instead of flinching out. The body answers in a way that is now well measured. A cold plunge sends your dopamine and your alertness chemistry sharply upward, and that lift is clean, earned, and long. You are not borrowing energy you will pay back with a crash. You are generating it. Notice what the cold actually trains, because it is not toughness for its own sake. It is the gap between the urge to quit and the act of quitting. Standing under cold water, every cell in you votes to step out, and you do not, and in those 30 seconds you rehearse the exact skill the whole day will demand of you. The skill of feeling the resistance and acting anyway. That is why one hard thing before sunrise is worth more than its size suggests. The cold shower is not the point. The point is that you proved at 6 in the morning that you do the difficult thing whether or not you feel like it. You walk into the rest of the day already having won the only argument that matters. The ancients understood this long before anyone measured a hormone. There is an old idea running through the Stoic tradition that you should train yourself with chosen hardships, small deliberate hardships, so that you are not undone by the ones you did not choose. They called it a discipline of practice. Sleep on the floor sometimes, eat plainly on purpose, take the cold instead of the warm. Not because suffering is noble, but because a will that has never been asked to do anything hard collapses the first time the day asks. They were describing, in the language of character, exactly what the cold plunge does to your chemistry. Voluntary difficulty now is insurance against involuntary difficulty later. So you have two systems pointing at the same hour. Underneath, a body that wakes already surging, primed and waiting to be used. On top, a will that grows only by being made to push against something. One hard thing before the sun is where those two meet. You catch the chemical peak at its height, and you spend it on resistance instead of comfort, and both the body and the will come out of those few minutes sharper than they went in. The day does not give you that alignment again. By mid-morning, the cortisol curve has flattened, and the world is choosing your hard things for you. The window is now in the dark while it is still yours to choose. See what shifts when the first thing you do is hard on purpose. The day stops being something that happens to you. Most mornings are reactive from the first minute, a slide from sleep straight into whatever pings loudest. But when you open with a chosen difficulty, you have acted before you have reacted. You set the terms. Everything after that arrives into a day you already took command of, and it has to negotiate with a version of you that is already moving. The hard tasks later get smaller because you have already recalibrated what hard feels like. After a cold shower, the difficult email is not difficult. After 30 minutes of real focus before dawn, the meeting you were dreading is just a meeting. You spent the morning resetting the baseline, and now the day's real challenges have to clear a bar you raised on purpose in advance when it cost you almost nothing. And you stop waiting to feel ready. The cold does not wait for your permission, and neither does the surge in your blood. Both are there at the same hour every morning, indifferent to your mood, offering the same deal. Use me now or watch me fade. The disciplined person is not the one who feels more ready. They are the one who stopped treating readiness as the price of entry and simply did the hard thing while the body was built to do it. So choose the hard thing before the day chooses for you. I do one difficult thing on purpose this morning, before the sun is fully up. I treat the cold as training, not punishment, and I stay calm inside it. I ride the surge my body gives me in the first hour instead of draining it on a screen. I get light in my eyes early and let the chemistry do its work. I let the small chosen hardship now make the unchosen ones later feel smaller. I prove before breakfast that I act whether or not I feel like it. I begin difficult so the rest of the day has something to live up to. That is the morning, one hard thing chosen before the light fully arrives. You ride the surge instead of wasting it, you meet the cold instead of avoiding it, and you walk into the day already having done the difficult thing once. If this lit the fire, stay with this channel because the day has another half and it is not more igniting. It is the opposite and it takes its own discipline. Tonight, come back for the evening counterpart. Let the body put the day down, where instead of igniting the body, you let it release the day. Through yoga nidra and non-sleep deep rest, the Zen teacher Thich Nhat Hanh and Jon Kabat-Zinn. You light the body in the morning, you let it down at night. Both are skills. Begin disciplined, end reflective. Now go cold.